G'day, I'm Andrew from Berrima Diesel Service. Got up this morning, Mount Dare. Some of us had the luxury of bacon and eggs and baked beans on toast. We've headed out of Mount Dare, turned off through to Dalhousie. And the road was pretty rough.
It certainly was. Similar to yesterday, the last part of the trip, but today the road on the way to Dalhousie was full of some pretty serious rocky terrain and some pretty sharp rocks as well.
Simon and Miranda, they had a bit of bad luck there. Hit probably one of these things. Can you imagine like about the last 10 kilometres of these things sticking up in the middle of the road? So probably very important that you run the right tyre pressures and just take as much care as you can. I suppose there's probably a bit of luck or bad luck in it too if you do get a flat. But
yeah, I think the issue is obviously tyre pressure is important, picking the right line, getting a good road speed and having a look at what's on the road in front of you. And the rocks were that sizeable, I guess what's really happened is it's just jumped up and smashed the alloy rim.
That's it.
So yeah, possibly if you are thinking about coming out places like this, maybe alloy rims aren't the best idea.
Probably a matter of carrying some spares or bring a couple of spare tubes along or even carry 2 tyres in the back if you can.
Yeah, it certainly highlights the importance of more than one spare wheel.
Yeah.
And when you're travelling through these dry and desolate areas, water is available via these bores. Now, we've been told by the locals that this bore here in particular is okay for drinking. We've got some of the water out. It's actually quite clear in the bottle. It doesn't have too bad an odour and it does taste okay. Now, we'll be taking this as secondary water for washing hands, for boiling up, but it's good to know that if you do need it, you can get good drinking water out here.
We're always very cautious when we're driving in fairly rough road conditions.
Yeah, this sort of terrain, guys, really brings out the importance of being very well prepared. And we're not just talking about, a fridge full of food and lots of fuel and water, but we've actually had a fairly major damage to a tyre, and that means the need for carrying a spare, possibly carrying a spare tube, carrying a puncture repair kit. Now, when you're driving this sort of terrain, to try and avoid these accidents, you've got to do several things. Don't have your vehicle ridiculously overloaded, which contributes to tyre problems. Second thing, travel at an appropriate speed, and also keep plenty of distance between you, which is really important.
Yeah,
definitely. So you can see in the dust.
Yeah, with us, we've got 9 vehicles, and we've kept quite a distance between each vehicle, so you're losing the dust, and you've got time to actually look and react to when the potholes come up, because they do come up out of the blue. You can be driving along a beautiful section of soft, nice sand, all of a sudden a large pothole can come out of nowhere. So you've just got to be aware at the whole time and certainly make sure that you keep your eyes on the road.
Absolutely. Well, Rocky Road, the famous Darrell Lee chocolate, has got no comparison to what this is, guys. This is mega sharp. This is rough. This is really rough.
It was through Dalhousie many years ago, so looking forward to it. Be able to rip the gear off and dive in and get rid of all this red dust that's been caking on for the last few days.
You're not ripping your gear off, are you?
I hope not.
God.
All right, well, here we are out in the desert in the middle of nowhere, and it's nice to find a bit of an oasis whilst you're out here, but hot water, come on guys, this has got to be luxury. Next up, it's the Your 4x4 email competition.
Thanks, Simon. Our entry this week comes from Cheryl Jackson, and Cheryl has written, "We love our Nissan 4x4. It gets us two oldies out the door. To see what can be found, gee, there's so much around."
Thanks for sending in that email. You've won yourself a Lightforce tack torch and stubby holder, and you're also in the running for the ARB twin motor portable compressor. For full details, visit the Your 4x4 website.
Dad, look at the horse.
I know.
This is the place to waste it.
Dalhousie is definitely
what
a
an
place.
absolute oasis. I mean, last time I was here was about 7 years ago, and we were here. It was about 42 degrees outside, and none of us actually went into the pools here because it was so hot outside. But on a day like today, which is a little bit cooler, it's just fantastic in there. I mean, you could really sort of just sit in there all day. I mean, what a wonderful place to come and get the dust off you and just enjoy the outback.
That water just bubbles up out of the ground. There's no pumps. There's just natural pressure from under the ground.
Amazing.
Hands down my undies. Okay.
Was warm, now cold. Come probably from 34 degrees in to probably about a wind chill of -5.
Hello. We've had a great time around. It was really good fun swimming in Dalhousie.
And I also think the camping setup that they've got here, like they've got a lot of roped off areas here now to protect the vegetation and all that, which is, you know, a sign of the amount of people that are coming here. There's toilets here, there's campgrounds here. So it's a really ideal place to come and actually spend a couple of nights. You've got the water here, you've got the ruins about 12 k's down the road.
We're in the middle of the desert and we've come across, well, just a little sort of creek crossing, but it's probably the first of a couple that'll be still remaining from all the rain, I think, that they've had out here in the desert region. Again, it shows you've got to be careful when you come up to those things because it didn't look like much, but as we sort of came in, there was quite a steep jump out of the other side of it. And
Yeah, it was a good.
it was just a little creek.
It was a good 1.5 2 foot, wasn't it? Straight
Yeah.
up. After you got through that water, or mud, as you might say. Wasn't much of it and didn't look like it was much, but if you weren't aware of it, you could have just lost your whole front
Straight
end.
in, and probably you said it lost the front end in. So again, always be alert of the conditions.
What a great little drive in. Came in down through a really nice little valley, salt plains and all that sort of stuff, so you can see lots of people had been through there.
Dingo on the side of the road. It seemed pretty friendly. Wanted to show a bit of interest in everybody that was around. Was quite happy to pose for happy snaps and get up close to the cars without any real problems. Well, here we are at the Dalhousie Ruins. Bit of a trek to get here from the hot springs, but the road conditions make a worthwhile trip when you get here.
Yeah, well, I've got all the colours of the rainbow here in my wallet. But blue, red, yellow, green, I wanna roll a dice. Hope it gets me lucky because money only ever seemed to last a little while.
I think what's amazing here now, from the country we've been on, has been just so flat. And here we are, we've now sort of come off the edge of that actually, and we're looking over this huge sort of, I don't know, a scene from the Nevada desert or a real amazing scene anyway, with these outcrops all over the place.
I could have just wasted it. Yeah, could have just wasted it. But as long as it makes me smile for a little while.
Well, it's been great to stop here at the Dalhousie Ruins and catch up for a quick bite of lunch and check out how people did live over 100 years ago out here. Absolutely amazing. Now I can hear the vehicles starting up behind me. They're moving around a bit. It is time for us to head. We've got 3 days to get across to Birdsville, so let's head for the Simpson Desert.
Certainly an amazing place. You wouldn't believe that you are where you are. It's just because it's changed so quickly from where we were to what it is now. It's almost like you've crossed into another country.
We've just come across a river crossing. Even though we're really in the desert, there is still water around, so again, you've got to prep up and be careful about that.
Even the camera car gets stuck.
Next up, it's the Ask an Expert segment.
Well, our question this week comes from Baz from Craigieburn in Victoria, and Baz wants to know, what's the best way to make good coffee in remote areas? Well, Baz, we often travel with a guy who loves his coffee, so let's cross over to Matt Frost from ARB.
So there's a few things I wouldn't even dream of going bush without. First of them is good quality coffee, and most importantly, they need to be whole beans, freshly roasted. Coffee bean will lose its freshness as soon as you basically break the skin. I'm on a break within minutes, so very important you've got whole beans and a good quality grinder to get a nice fine grind. I'm using a Bialetti machine here this morning, which is a stovetop machine. Makes fantastic coffee, very, very quick and certainly very, very easy, and we'll get a great tasting coffee out of it. Yeah, definitely. Cheers, mate. Cheers.
For asking that question, you've won yourself a Piranha diff breather. You're also in the running for the wholesale heavy-duty valve body converter lockup and temperature gauge kit, the Lightforce 50-watt 170mm striker driving lamp kit, and the RFI antenna pack. For full details, visit the Your 4x4 website.
Thanks, Simon. This week's first entry was shot while on a 2-week tour of Tasmania. The D40 Navara has a long-range tank, a small lift and all-terrains, and it's a great little tourer. Next is this GU Patrol, which looks pretty good parked up near Indian Head on Fraser Island. It's only fairly new to the owner, who has plenty planned for this 4x4. This GQ is the family's pride and joy, showing them many of the beautiful places around Australia. This pic was taken on a trip to Wyangala Dam. Now this 200 series looks like it'd be fun up and down the beach. With a chip, big exhaust and a set of muddies, it's always ready for the next trip. And last is this brand new Triton, straight from the dealer and onto the tracks for some fun before taking it home.
If you've just seen your photo and you're the first person to email Danny, you've won yourself the Projector 6-metre 750 amp booster cables. You're also in the running for a Berrima Diesel DP chip, the best way to boost diesel power, and the Travel Buddy oven, the easy option for hot food when you're in the bush.